It is one thing living with HIV, but it is yet another living with the virus at an old age. In simple terms, it can be called a double tragedy. New Vision TV reporter Vicky Wandawa was in Luwero district and she found so many aging peasants in Luwero districts who shared with her their stories. The wrinkly 70-year-old widow wears a resigned expression. He tightly clasps a black kavera under his left arm as he awaits his turn in the queue to get a refill of his antiretroviral drugs. In the kavera are 2 empty bottles in which his drugs will be placed. His oversized, dirty, threadbare shirt and woolen headgear tell a story of despair. It is 5 years since Petero Munyani, a farmer and resident of Luwero Kakuto village, tested HIV positive. His wife too tested positive. She passed away shortly after, aged 40. He had persistent fever and cough for a long time. He grows beans, maize and potatoes, but regrets that there are days when he can barely leave his bed, yet he has no one else to tend to his garden, his only livelihood.
Nze bwangamba nti oli mulwadde saagaana nakkiriza bukeeza bwangamba tandika okumira eddagala nentandika okumira eddagala kati obulwadde nomukiraki ne buwona kati nekola mirimu gyange nze nekozesa nzekka mu nnima yange sirina mpakasi gwenteekamu.
Munyani keeps himself active in the garden, but at times he suffers severe stomachache as a result of hernia.
Hernia bangamba mwezi ogwo oguwedde lwe nagendeera kyo ne bamukebera ne bangamba akomawo nga 8 mwezi oguwedde kale lwe nagenda sange nabanga ejjudde abantu bangi era basinga bungi baafrika katonda dokita n'angamba nti ojja kudda January.
He has since embarked on local herbs to ease the hernia and also keep on taking ARVs as recommended by the health workers. Munyani is among the 150,000 Ugandans aged 50 and above living with HIV that's suffering a double burden, HIV and old age. According to a study done by the Uganda Reach the Aged Association, together with Hope Age International, the prevalence of Ugandans aged 50 and over living with HIV is estimated at 6.8%. The study also shows that 65% of older persons are sexually active and 91% had never used a condom during sexual intercourse, and yet 63% of them take care of orphans and vulnerable children, including those with HIV/AIDS. A medical research council, Uganda Virus Research Institute, a research unit on HIV in Entebbe, also undertook a study which was published in May 2011 about the elderly living with HIV/AIDS in Uganda. They found that their problems range from having many diseases at a go, poor health care and isolation, to neglect and lack of support, a perfect description of Munyani's life. Many from the rural areas also mentioned lice, jiggers and bedbugs. Dr. Monica Kutesa carried out research on the elderly living with HIV/AIDS in Uganda and their medical care experiences for the University of Sydney. Data was collected from 40 HIV-positive adults aged 50 years or older attending 2 clinics in Uganda. She categorized 10 specific problems affecting older people living with HIV as follows. First, there's lack of access to care, which is 80%. Secondly, the quality of patient-provider relationship is 75%. Thirdly, delayed diagnosis and care seeking, 55%. Fourthly, stigma, 43%. And fifthly, adherence support, 25%. The others are discordance, 20%, continuity of care, 14%, difficulty in disclosing, 8%, end-of-life issues, 13%, and other issues, 20%. Professor Ronald Hammer, a researcher in HIV among the elderly in South Africa, says aging with HIV is troublesome, as patients suffer numerous diseases at a go, such as bone disease and fractures, heart disease, abnormal lipids, kidney disease, brain and neurologic disorders, diabetes, cancers, frailty, and HBV2. As age advances with HIV, the immune system grows older and brain disorders worsen. The immune system is crippled by HIV. Dr. Bonaventura Mpondo of the University of Dodoma explains that an older person is more likely to progress from HIV to AIDS much faster than a younger person. He discovered from his study on HIV among the elderly that toxicities from ARVs were more likely to cause harm than young ones. Older persons with AIDS die sooner than younger people. Rebecca Namudu, a registered comprehensive nurse with Reach Out Mbuya Parish HIV/AIDS Initiative, explains that many elderly people living with HIV have problems with transportation and food, which compromise the adherence to ARVs.
The elderly face a problem of they fail to get what to eat, and then which leads to poor adherence because they always complain that they can't take the drugs without eating. And sometimes they can't walk to look for food, and then also walking to the facility or to the outreaches. Though it might seem like a small distance, but they can't make it too. So sometimes we do home visits where we can take drugs and we deliver them to their homes.
A rather joyful and healthy 62-year-old mother of 6, Eva Nanyondo, shares how she discovered that she was infected with HIV/AIDS.
Nasanyuka kubanga era omusawo yagamba nti bwe tunakubuulira nti oli mulwadde oyagala kukola oti ngante nze nsaba bujjanjabi.
Nanyondo confesses that she has been dedicated to taking ARVs for 10 years, but ever since then her weight has increased.
Mpozi kye neeyongerako ate kugejja nobekere ndali annyongerako obunene amaanyi nago era kakati si yembeera eri gye nalimu bugambye nga sikyasobola nakukola ne akati wadde amaanyi era matonotono njiyayiya nenkola ki nenkola ate era naluli nze nali mmanyi nti omuntu bw'alwala sirimu aba agenda kufa nga n'ebyokukola sikyabyagala naye baatubuulirira kati ndi bulungi nnyo njinira era omuntu tamanya nti nina obulwadde buno.
65-year-old Sophia Ndagire contracted the virus in 2004. She barely remembers how she contracted it. After conducting several tests, she disclosed to her husband. He was understanding, she says, and decided to go with her for an HIV taste.
When nazuula nga ndi mulwadde, omwami wange yanziramu n'angamba tugende batukebere babiri tulabe ekituufu obanga onnimba oba tonnimba kuba yali tansuubiramu nnyinza okulwala. Tugenda ne batukebera omusaayi, ebyava mu musaayi nze nga nina akawuka omwami wange talina. Ne tugenda mu malwaliro gonna g'emmenye, ne tugenda e Mulago ng'era kyekyo, ne tugenda Entebbe ng'era kyekyo, ne tugenda e Kiwoko ng'era kyekyo, ne Rasho ne Kasana wa gavumenti.
Even after counseling from Kasala hospital medics, the two finally concluded that they cannot stay together and later separated. Since then, the mother of 3 keeps herself busy at the garden and religiously takes her drugs. Take a second and make a quick recollection of the different HIV messages you have encountered in the media. Did any of those messages target the elderly? Most likely not. As Uganda continues to battle HIV/AIDS, elderly persons have been left out. The messages predominantly target the youth and women, shelving older persons living with HIV, and yet Frederick Ouma Bwire, the Chief Executive Officer, Uganda Reach the Aged Association, similar studies on HIV and older persons have multiple sex partners, failing to use condoms, sex under the influence of alcohol, and cross-generational sex.